The first story I ever heard about Carmen Mlodzinski was about his time in the Cape Cod League. This is whenever I was writing a profile on him after the Pirates drafted him in 2020. The Cape Cod League can get pretty rainy, and it really impacted a lot of his bullpen and start days in particular. And he decided one day that he had had enough. He was going to throw his bullpen regardless of if it was raining or not. It was important to him. So he went out with his catcher and his pitching coach, and they got absolutely soaked to the point that they couldn't use some of the gear for a couple days, as it was recalled to me. And he got his bullpen in. The expression hang out to dry is quite literally about putting your laundry out on the line and being naked, having nothing left. And by the strictest of definitions, the first story I ever heard about Carmen Mlodzinski was him leaving a teammate hang out to dry. Something that crossed my mind Sunday afternoon. Good morning and welcome to OffBeat here on North Shore 9 presented by FanDuel. My name is Alex Stumpf and this is a daily look at your Pittsburgh Pirates. We have some history to go over here with Carmen Mlodzinski. Carmen was drafted as a starting pitcher and was a starting pitcher throughout his rise through the Pirates farm system. It wasn't until 2023, whenever he was promoted to the major leagues, that he was put into the bullpen. Now, we have seen years later that this has been kind of common for the Pirates. Braxton Ashcraft came up as a relief pitcher first, became a starter. Bubba Chandler as a reliever first, got into the rotation. Carmen Mlodzinski spent a little extra time in the bullpen. He spent the entirety of 2023 and then in 2024 repeated the same. And he excelled. He was quite good. He was someone who, if he expressed a desire to become a closer, he could have had a path there. But his desire was to be a starting pitcher. And he communicated time again, whenever he was given those opportunities, that he wanted to be a starting pitcher. And in 2025, Jared Jones starts the year on the injured list. He gets a chance. It doesn't go well. He gets optioned to the minor leagues in May and comes back up as a reliever shortly after. 2026 comes around. He gets another chance to be a starting pitcher because Jared Jones is on the injured list. There is a hole. And he does a pretty good job as a starting pitcher. This wasn't 2025 performance. 2026, I think Carmen Mlodzinski showed that he could be a back of the rotation starter for a lot of teams. He pitched to a 3.76 ERA. Sometimes he had an opener. We still saw some struggles against left-handed hitting. We still saw struggles third time through the order. But for the most part, he pitched pretty well. Well enough that on the last OffBeat, whenever Jared Jones got activated or was told he was going to be activated and start on Friday, I so focused mostly around how Carmen Mlodzinski was getting a raw deal here. I recorded that Thursday late afternoon, early evening, about how the Pirates' bullpen struggles and having no middle relief might have played a factor in here of why he is going to the bullpen instead of, Bubba Chandler going down to the minor leagues. Like, Braxton Ashcraft left the Pirates no choice. He has to be in the starting rotation. So it was pretty much, okay, here are the three. Carmen draws the short straw. And at the time, I that podcast was, if nothing else, sympathetic to Carmen Mlodzinski's position. On Thursday night, after the game, he expressed his disappointment that he was going back into the bullpen, saying, quote, that he was, quote, still communicating with the organization and the people in my corner, whether that's my family or my agency, about what's next, end quote. It was an eye-opener. But he was still around the team. and no trade request has been made or had been made. And it was, okay, let's see what happens. And it was gearing up that he was going to have to pitch at some point this weekend. And as the weekend progressed, Sunday was the day. Braxton Ashcraft has pitched really well, but there's going to be innings concerned. It seemed like it was an opportunity to have him do a 5 and dive, manage his innings, give the ball to Mlodzinski. The bullpen that was taxed on Saturday can kind of take a breather on the Sunday and have an off day on Monday, reset, be reloaded. Carmen Mlodzinski communicated to the Pirates on Sunday that he was not ready to pitch out of the bullpen, and he was placed on the restricted list. Cam Sanders was promoted. Braxton Ashcraft threw an extra inning. Cam Sanders was recalled and subsequently optioned for the 4th time this season. You can only be optioned 5 times in a season before you get exposed to waivers. And the Pirates won. And they won, and it was the type of game that they didn't need Mlodzinski. They had this one handily. But it was not only a real bad look that the Pirates had to put a pitcher on the restricted list, it does have small ripple effects. Like I said, Cam Sanders, you can only be optioned 5 times in a season. This is number 4. The one that before the season doesn't count. It's 5 options after opening day. So that is it's one less bullet that they have with him. I'm not going to make Cam Sanders into something that he's not. He is a fringe major league pitcher, but you know what? He's someone who has worked hard. He was willing to take the downgrade from going from AAA with other clubs to go AA because he believed in what the Pirates were doing and that this was his best shot to become the best version of himself. He does that. He reaches the major leagues. You only get so many options, so many chances to prove that you could get major league hitters out. And he has one fewer. Something that is going to be in consideration for whenever the Pirates have to navigate their bullpen. Braxton Ashcraft was very efficient, 80 pitches through 6 innings. His limit was 85, so it's not like he was stretched further than the Pirates planned or hoped. But it is still another inning. Whenever we're going to be watching that inning count like a hawk, he is on pace to obliterate his personal high right now. And I think he is in position that he could throw 160, 170 innings over the course of a season. But even then, that's going to come with 5 and dives. That's going to come with piggybacks. That's going to come with maybe skipping starts. There's a lot of ways that they could manage the innings. Pretty much anything besides him going to the bullpen. Impacts him a little bit. We're going to take a quick break, but we got a lot more to talk about here.
This episode is brought to you by IQ Bar, our exclusive snack hydration sponsor. IQ Bar protein bars, IQ Mix hydration mixes, and IQ Joe mushroom coffees are the delicious, low-sugar, brain and body fuel you need to win your day. The Ultimate Sampler Pack is a great way for you to try all IQ Bar products and flavors. You get 9 IQ bars, 8 IQ Mix sticks, and 4 IQ Joe sticks. All IQ Bar products are clean label certified and entirely free from gluten, dairy, soy, GMOs, and artificial ingredients. With over 20,000 5-star reviews and counting, more people than ever are fueling their lifestyles with IQ Bar's brain and body boosting bars, hydration mixes, and mushroom coffees. The Ultimate Sampler Pack includes all 3. My personal favorites so far have been the almond butter chip and the iced tea lemonade hydration mix. It's just really full of flavor. I love starting my day with it, and I couldn't imagine starting my day with anything else other than IQ Bar products. Right now, IQ Bar is offering our podcast listeners 20% off all IQ Bar products, including the Ultimate Sampler Pack, plus free shipping. To get your 20% off, text MLB to 64,000. That's MLB 64000. Message and data rates may apply. See terms for details.
So even if Carmen Mlodzinski was on the restricted list just for Sunday, and it looks like he will be activated on Tuesday, and he is going to pitch on this road trip. And I asked Ben Cherington, whenever he does pitch, do you view this matter as resolved? And he said yes. There's still those ripple effects for the team itself. But let's just talk about Carmen Mlodzinski's future now. He has expressed that he wants to be a starting pitcher. That's fine. That's good. He should have aspirations. He should have goals like that. I don't want, if he is in that swingman role right now, I don't want a swingman that's, perfectly fine just going back to the bullpen. I want someone who has that dog, who wants to be a starting pitcher. But who was also in that swingman-ish type of role, and then we don't talk about like that anymore? It's Braxton Ashcraft. Braxton came up to the major leagues as a reliever for the first time. And he expressed, he's like, hey, my goal is to be a big league pitcher first. I have stuff to prove. I'm thankful for the opportunity. I'm going to do this opportunity. And he excelled. He got a chance to start, and he has just absolutely held on to that rotation spot. There is no question that Braxton Ashcraft is one of the 5 best starting pitchers on this team. Hell, he's number 2 right now. He's number 2 behind the reigning Cy Young. Carmen Mlodzinski pitched good. He pitched well. He was not that level. He did not pitch to a level where it became irrefutable. This was always considered in the public eye an option. I was asked on 93.7 The Fan on Thursday afternoon, does he go to the bullpen? And I said, I don't know for sure. It's a possibility. It's a possibility. But the fact that it was on public eye from Donnie Football, who is very well versed in baseball, he's very up to date on what's going on here. He rightfully assumed that it was a very strong possibility. We all saw this as a possibility. The fact that the Pirates were so secretive about Jared Jones, about how, we view him as a starter long term, but they wouldn't shut down reliever talk. I get you don't want to have a dead man walking in your rotation, but I expressed how dumb that was, how it was creating needless drama. Well, I kind of understand a little better why now. This is something that is going to stick with Mlodzinski. It's not, it doesn't have to be the complete narrative, but this is part of the story now of how he responded to this. And if he goes into the bullpen in this bulk role type thing, and what we saw Wilbur Dotel do on Friday night, if Mlodzinski could do that and pitch 3 or 4 really good innings of middle relief in an outing, it's a game changer for this bullpen. It's exactly what this bullpen needs. This bullpen needs right-handed dogs, and he could be one. It's a need. He's also put himself in a position that if he's not a dog, it's not going to look good. Even if he is full go, all in on this, this is just the public perception now. If someone who didn't want to go to the bullpen and now he struggles, it's a bad look. Nothing was gained here. Nothing was gained here. The Pirates weren't asking him to be, go 1-1 or, go back-to-back or just go straight into a bullpen role. What the Pirates have described for him is about as cushy a bullpen job as there is right now. One that you can make a great impact. One that you could be semi-stretched out to start if another position or opportunity presents itself. not just in 2026, but in 2027, and not just with the Pittsburgh Pirates. It could be for another club, theoretically. There was no trade request made. I don't want to give the impression that he could be traded because of this, but we saw the Pirates trade young starting pitching last winter. They've got more young pitching on the way. Have to imagine that they'll go into this winter also willing to trade starting pitching. He could be in that mix. Those other teams better know, or know now, that it's strictly a starting pitcher, not, relief pitcher. Could impact his options, could impact his future. At the end of the day, this is one day where a player said, I am not ready to pitch out of this role. And the team's still winning anyway. At the end of the day, this is just missing a game check. It's still a really bad look for an organization that has presented him opportunities that I don't know every organization would have. I think a lot of teams would have pulled the plug on him being a starting pitcher after what he showed in 2025. I think there are teams that would have let a dead man walking be in the rotation as Jared Jones got better. I think there were teams that whenever a starting pitcher, or a pitcher, I guess I should say, says that they're not ready for the game, they would option him to the minor leagues instead of put him on the restricted list. There have been a lot of times whenever the Pirates have chosen the carrot instead of the stick. Something that needs to be taken into consideration by Carmen moving forward. Thank you so much for listening to OffBeat here on North Shore 9, presented by FanDuel. If you like what you heard, be sure to subscribe wherever you find a fine podcast, or check us out on YouTube. I usually do this in section 322 of PNC Park, but Wi-Fi wasn't cooperative, so we're doing it from home today. Thank you so much for listening. We'll talk again tomorrow.
All right, that wraps up this episode of North Shore 9. Thanks so much for tuning in, whether you're listening on the podcast or catching us on YouTube. If you enjoyed the show, please give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It really helps us grow. And if you're listening on the podcast, a quick review goes a long way in helping others find the show. Plus, be sure to tell a friend about us. There's always room for more here in the NS9 community. And for those looking to support us a little more, consider joining our Patreon, become an MVP member, and get exclusive perks while helping us continue to bring you more of the Pirates content you love. Thanks again for all your support, and let's go Bucks.